Hello and welcome to Intersec Dubai 2025, where I'm delighted to be sat at the Fomtec stand and joined by the CEO of the company, John Ottesen, and the international sales manager who's responsible for the Middle East and North Africa, Evan Ottesen. Gents, thank you very much for having me here. It's a real pleasure. We've got quite a few things to get through. Evan, first of all, I think for you, we know how famous Fomtec is for its innovative firefighting foam. Let's talk a little bit more about the products that you're showcasing here at Intersec, especially the fluorine-free foam products that you are so well known for.
Fomtec has been doing a lot of innovation over the years. It already started back in 2010 when we knew that C8 was coming to an end. C6 was the new thing, but we knew where it was going, and we have been testing with fluorine-free foams ever since. When we stopped the C8 production, we focused 100% of our R&D into fluorine-free foams, and we're happy to say that at this current time, we cover the market, basically. And we are showcasing these products here at Intersec this year, as we've done the last couple of years, really. But the thing is that we keep adding data to the list. We want to make sure that we test for every scenario we can find out there, and if anything pops up, we want to test that too. So we are showing off the Enviro range of products. We have them on the stand here, the USP and ARC, our star products, alongside all of the other new products that we are coming out with. I wouldn't say yearly, but it seems like it, really.
Thank you, Evan. And it really is a privilege to see the way that these products have evolved over the years, and I'm sure they will continue to evolve. As you say, you keep adding data to the way that you're innovating. It's been well documented that the move towards fluoride-free foam started quite some time ago now. It's a global priority. How is Fomtec supporting its partners and its customers in the Middle East region with this move, particularly in such vital sectors like oil and gas?
It's a delicate process. It depends squarely upon who we're dealing with, really, because we need, for the end user or for our distribution partners, it needs to be clear that it's not really an exercise in drop-in replacement of foam. We're now looking at products. The fluorine-free foams are great products, but the safety margins are now much narrower than they have ever been with the fluorinated products. So we go in and we give them our data. We show that we have done a lot of tests and how we can help them make a holistic transition. And that's the key word. Holistic, because it's not only a matter of having a foam concentrate which has had a good fire test. You need to make sure that your system can be able to produce a foam for which the quality is good enough to actually fight what you have on site. And that it comes down to making sure that all the hardware is listed with the foam concentrate, and in that way we can have a greater security around the foam.
Wonderful. It's really enlightening to hear how you're supporting end users, customers, partners in this region with this holistic approach, as you say, Evan.
Yeah. And it's also a matter of if anyone comes up to us and says, "I have something special. What do I do? I have fuel no one else has ever heard about. What can we do then?" That's when we step in with our local people and we guide end users towards a safe solution for their system.
Fantastic. John, I think maybe a question for you as the CEO. Let's talk about some recent successes. I mean, I know that you're working on an awful lot of projects, but what notable projects would you like to talk about recently where Fomtec has really gone above and beyond and supported the customer with the move towards fluoride free?
Yes, I mean that's the name of the game at the moment. There's so many new things all the time, and obviously I won't name names here because we haven't asked permission to do so. But I can give some examples. Like you have a company dealing in edible oil industry with specific fuel requirements, even blends of fuels, never ever previously tested. And this is for them an important application, obviously. And we have then stepped in and did the necessary testing on these bespoke fuels with the discharge devices in question, enabling them to safely transition based on data and not just assumptions or opinions. So, that's our mantra: data, not opinion. So that's really what we do when it comes to helping clients look at their fuels and enable that transition. So that's one example I can give you. There's multiple others in the region. I can give you an anomaly. We have a customer who obviously long-term will transition to fluorine-free foam, but who wound up in a situation where their current supplier of C6 product were not longer producing. And we were then able to step in and help them in that transition period, because obviously they need fire protection until such time they can actually do the transition. And that's where we could help out. And there's other systems. We've done a lot of work in Central Asia, also providing large quantities of fluorine-free foam. And in that project especially, we did bespoke testing also for the client to really show them that they could feel safe about using that product. So there's a lot going on all the time.
Wonderful. And what about your approach to your clients' knowledge? How do you work on the education and the training side of things with your clients to ensure that they experience a smooth transition to new firefighting technologies?
Yes, and this is really key, because obviously as we move away from old chemistry into these new fluorine-free foams, we are basically rewriting the foam manual. And that requires a lot of knowledge, because the holistic approach is essential for success. And all of these old truths that we based our system design on, they're out the window. We need to establish new truths, which we do through our testing. And obviously that information needs to get out to the client. So we have a foam school, which we carry out twice a year. And it's a full week of training in system design, where people can then learn how to use the foam manual, which is based on this new data, and make a system design based on approved products in a holistic approach. That's one of the things, the foam school. And then obviously staying in close contact with the clients, having seminars, having telephone or team calls to go through their particular application and bring them up to speed with the latest, greatest within our industry.
Wonderful. And talking about 2025 and beyond, you're going to take this holistic approach.
Yeah.
What are Fomtec's key goals and innovations, bearing that in mind as we move forward? So I think that's probably a question in two parts. I'll let you answer first, John, and then we'll move back to Evan.
Yes, I mean, this is a constant process. Innovation never stops. And so we constantly have new formulations in the laboratory, where we're doing hundreds of fire tests per year. In our Enviro program, we're now well beyond 3,000 fire tests so far. And we keep on testing, because there are new fuels, there are new discharge devices, and it all needs to be documented. And looking into the glass bulb, what is the future? Obviously, we're striving for lower application densities. We're striving for more documentation on all the kinds of fuels out there. And in that sense, there are thousands of fuels, especially in the polar solvent range. And some of those fuels are even so toxic that you can't fire test them. So we have spent 3 years developing a prediction tool where we can actually, based on science, predict performance with our product on a huge number of polar solvent fuels based on the gas element. And that's the first indication. When we detect particularly difficult fuels, then we will move on to fire testing if necessary, or if possible. So, it's all about gathering more data, obviously bringing new products to the market. We have some very interesting products coming now. We're just about finishing our QPL listing for the US mill spec with our Enviro mill, which is going to be launched in the next several weeks. And there are some other very interesting products coming as well. So we're super excited about the future, and innovation never stops. You know, we carry on. Wouldn't you say so, Evan?
It sounds very familiar. That's
think-
the daily life. Always changing, or always adding is more.
I think something I'd like to get from you, Evan, obviously it's fantastic to hear about these. I mean, it's a bit of a cliffhanger that you've left us on there, John, saying that we've got these really exciting new products coming very soon. Evan, in your opinion, how are these ambitions and goals aligning with challenges and the industry's ever-evolving needs?
We come across, or I come across, several challenges in the region. I mean, this is my region, and I see that when you speak to a customer or an end user and they have a solution on site already, they're quite happy with it, and I understand because it's fluorinated, and it's probably maybe also even a formulation which we might not have been able to achieve yet. For example, let's say a 1x3 or a 1x1 even. That's incredibly tough. So it's all a matter of working with the customer or the client, setting expectations for what we actually have, because we have products that can fill all requirements that are in the market for when it comes to the fuel and when it comes to application rates. Now we just need to make sure that we all understand that it's not as simple as just making it. If it was that simple, we would have already done it. So but I think the space we need to focus on is education. And that, as John touched upon earlier, that's why we run the foam school. That's why this year it's going to be a much more focus on going to clients and having seminars with them, and not only the firefighters, but also the engineers and the CEOs. Everyone needs to be made aware of the changes that needs to be made to a system in some cases for it to work properly, with the holistic approach that we try so hard to get across.
Holistic approach is key.
Fantastic. I think, it sounds like you really do have the perfect equation to continue this growth, to continue this innovation, and with things like the foam school, continuing to nurture that client knowledge and education. I think personally, I can only see success for you in the near future. And, I'm very, very grateful that we've been able to have this time here at Intersec, such an important event for the region, to look at what you're showcasing and understand exactly how you're enhancing fire safety and bringing new technologies to firefighting. So, John, Evan, thank you both very much. It's been a real pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
And wishing you the best of luck for 2025 and beyond.